tweeted a list of about 25 people who got more votes in a Democratic primary more votes than Kamala Harris in a Democratic primary since 2020. It's a long list. She got as many votes as I did, 0. And this is a good transition to our first topic because she is the presumptive nominee of the Democratic Party. And one of my new favorite journalists, although he's been around for quite a long time, he was formerly a darling of the left. He came out with the reporting on the My Lai massacre. And then most recently, his bombshell was the Nord Stream pipeline was blown up by the CIA. And since then, he's been kind of cast out of polite society by the powers that be. Well, he's out with a new report last week called Leaving Las Vegas on his Substack. It's seymourhersh.substack.com. And he claims there was an actual coup to remove Biden. And I'll give you the cliff notes, and then I want to hear what you think, Brad. So this is one of the conspiracy theories, that there was a coup to remove Biden. The official story is Biden just, in a week was like, you know what? I don't really want to run anymore, even though I've been saying I want to run, and I'm just going to bow out and turn it over to Kamala. That's he's protecting democracy. He's a patriot and a constitutional hero, and he just bowed out because he's selfless. That's their story.
Yeah.
Seymour Hersh is out with a different story. He says, based on his sources within the White House, that a call was orchestrated and made to President Biden on Sunday morning by none other than former President Barack Obama, with the blessing of the big three, which is Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and Hakeem Jeffries. Obama told Biden that if he does not drop out, that they were prepared to invoke the 25th Amendment and remove him from office, and that Kamala was on board if he didn't drop out. That's the story. That's the story in a nutshell.
Yeah. Well,
Brad?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Hersh says Obama called Biden after breakfast and said, "Here's the deal. We have Kamala's approval and to invoke the 25th Amendment." Who the fuck is we? Who is Obama talking about when he says we? What is Obama's role in invoking the 25th Amendment? Why? I can understand Obama. Like, all right, they worked together for 8+ years, right? They were, president, vice president. Maybe he has, hearing from Obama is going to maybe activate Biden's almonds a little bit in that brain of his, that dementia rattled brain, and get him to maybe listen to some reason or something like that. But why is Obama saying that we can do this? What is we?
Who is we? It's the party. It's the party people.
What is Obama? What is we? He doesn't do shit. Supposedly.
That's not true. That's not true.
I'm not saying that it's. I agree with you, Michael. I agree with you. He's back there. He's doing his little fingers like that, marionette. But what is right? Yes, pulling the strings.
Yep.
What is the? It's still that it's out there in the open, and people aren't like confused by this word, this use of the word we. Who is we? Why is Obama saying we? Why is Obama threatening the 25th Amendment when it should be someone in power that can actually do the 25th Amendment, enact it, whether it's Kamala or whatever?
Because Obama's he's the puppet master of the Democratic Party. So he orchestrated Hillary in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
He orchestrated all of the 5 or 6 candidates in 2020 dropping out and endorsing Joe Biden to avoid a Bernie Sanders candidacy in 2020. And he's running the thing now. He has that famous interview where he's like, "Oh, I'd love a third term if just, it was somebody else's face and I could be whispering into their ear, about what they're going to do. That's how I'd love a third term." Well, it looks like he's got a third term right now, and he's looking for a fourth and maybe a fifth term. And I think that this is probably true based on Seymour Hersh's credibility and just how the things unfolded. Joe Biden, about 3 days prior to him dropping out, told his campaign staff on a phone call, "I am not dropping out," in his mad voice, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, on Sunday, he's like, "Thanks, Cha-Cha Heels."
Cha-Cha Heels knows what's up. That's right.
But all of a sudden on Sunday, he's like, announces on Twitter that he's gonna be leaving the candidacy.
Yeah, he broke up with America over text.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
And it's, obviously it's not, there's no official White House or Biden campaign, steal or whatever, or what's the word I'm looking for? It's not on official paperwork. Right. And the signature's all messed up, and it's not anything. And Biden doesn't know what's going on. And of course, the question still remains: who the hell is running the government right now? What's going on? We got Iran is saying, is it Iran or Iran? Charles is not here to correct me, so I don't know. They're saying they're going to go and attack Israel. Does Biden know that that's happening?
I don't know.
And if he doesn't, then who does, and who's going to make that decision about what we do in response? Is it going to be we? Who's we?
The royal we that Obama was referring to in his call to Biden.
There we go. Or it could be that Republican guy that he's just antsy for a war with Iran. They're all antsy for that, right?
Lindsey Graham?
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
He's excited. He's going to make it happen. He's a true American patriot, Michael.
No, he's not. He's the worst. He's the absolute worst. So who's running the country? I don't know. A group of people. Biden's not. We see that. They're running him out on photo ops trying to say that he was involved in getting these hostages released. And Kamala said she was the president in a recent speech. It was a little bit of a Freudian slip, if you will.
Sure.
But I don't know who's running the country, a group of people around Biden. I just find this account by Seymour Hersh to be more like, it makes way more sense than the official story.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, of course. Well, Dr. Naomi Wolf also has a Substack that came out, and here I can share the screen and we can kind of read it for those that are just listening. And she makes some compelling arguments based on the FEC. She says there's more to say about FEC law. It's very complex and difficult to start and to end a presidential campaign or any campaign, but at federal level especially. You can't just throw your hat in the ring and you can't just take it out. You have to file a massive complex forms to get started and to be cleared to raise money. The money is carefully monitored. All communications and ads are monitored. And if a campaign ends, it must be closed down with another complex range of legal filings and accounting for donor funds, a return of donor funds, a statement to and from the FEC, and so on. There is a narrative being played out now, it seems, in legacy media that astonishes me. It implies that President Biden can just step aside and Vice President Harris can just step into his place. But FEC law doesn't work that way. And it does seem weird that there's, look at that, documenting Austin finally caught. Yes, thank you for being here, Dash. We appreciate that. You can't, Kamala Harris can't just, no one voted for Kamala Harris. Literally nobody voted for Kamala Harris. 0 people. They voted for Biden. And there was no, the DNC hadn't met up and selected their candidate. Like, of course he's the presumptive nominee, or was, but they also stopped other people from being on the ballots in all the different states. They did everything they could so that other people couldn't challenge him. RFK to be, probably the biggest name out there. Even the Statesman locally here has a story that says Texas Democrats say RFK Jr. should be denied a place on November 5th statewide ballot. The Texas Democrat Party said it reviewed its review of independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy's petition signatures are invalid and should be discarded. So, Michael, I think you can probably say with confidence, you can describe how that works. Like when you submit signatures, how does that work?
You submit your signatures to the Secretary of State, I believe, on the statewide level to get on a ballot, and they review you have to have a certain number of them to be, quote, valid signatures, which means a registered voter with their signature on the card. And the Secretary of State or the city clerk goes through a process of validating a sample of the signatures, not all of them, because it's a very big document. And then they do a statistical analysis to say, okay, based on this sample, are there enough signatures here to reach the threshold? And they give a ruling with 99 or 95% certainty. And then you either qualify for the ballot or you don't. What it seems like the party is saying here, which might be a mistake, is that RFK's signatures do not meet the threshold. Maybe he has people who aren't registered to vote. Maybe he has people who don't live in Texas, and they're saying that he doesn't have enough signatures.
Well, I think well, go on.
However, isn't RFK hurting, not to change the subject, but isn't RFK hurting Trump, not Kamala?
I don't know. In Texas, probably not. I don't know. It seems like he would hurt probably the Democrats, right? But what's hilarious is unless 100% of his signatures are fake, 100% fake, every single one, he has more Texans supporting him for president than Kamala Harris does on record.
True. Well,
she's got 0 people that have voted for her, that have submitted a signature for doing anything to get Kamala Harris as on the Texas ticket. RFK Jr. has more.
She'd get some amount of campaign contributions in the last month from people in Texas.
Okay. And who voted?
No, not a single person.
Exactly. And that's how democracy works. And the Democrat Party, I mean, it's in their name, right? They should be supporting Democrats. It's our democracy after all, and it's under threat, they say. So what do we do with this? What do we do with this information? We limit democracy. I think democracy isn't that Greek for select. It means that it's not selected by the people, right? The definition has changed. It's something like selected by donors. Isn't that what democracy means? I think that's the root word.
Yeah. I don't want to hear another Democrat lecture me on democracy. As you said, they shut down the primary, didn't hold debates, and then removed their candidate via a coup and replaced it with somebody who got literally 0 votes.
Yeah. Welcome to America. That is their democracy, right? The Supreme Court is only a problem when it's not going their way, and then it's our democracy that's under threat. It is their. I don't know what my democracy seems to be okay. I don't know. I got to vote and pick a candidate. I got to see some debates, on the Republican side.
Yep.
Seems like it's okay.
Here's a list of people who have got more votes in a Democratic primary for president since 2020. Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Michael Bloomberg, Pete Buttigieg, Amy Klobuchar, Tulsi Gabbard, Andrew Yang, Tom Steyer, Michael Bennett, Julian Castro, Cory Booker, Deval Patrick, John Delaney, David Lee Rice, Rocky De La Fuente, John Sestak, Dean Phillips, Marianne Williamson, Jason Palmer, Cenk Uygur, and my favorite, Uncommitted.
Yes. I didn't even recognize some of those names, but Uncommitted is probably the best one, right? Yeah. It's good times. I don't know how. I mean, is it just that the media is behind it, and that's why people are they don't. Well, good morning, Cha-Cha Heels from Austin and Dripping Springs. So I don't know why are people behind it? Is it because they hate Trump so much and therefore they're okay with this? If it was, I don't know, if this was Mitt Romney, if this was John McCain, if that's who the Republican candidate was, would they be, if it was Ted Cruz? I don't know. Name any Republican candidate that's been, over the past couple decades. Would they be okay with this still? Is it the Republicans they hate, or is it Trump?
I think it would be the same if it was another Republican candidate. Here's what I think is going on. I'm going to preface this with, to my liberal friends out there, I love you. No hate.
Do they love you?
I don't. Probably not. There is a mass formation psychosis going on here on the Democratic Party. They just do whatever they're told without questioning. It's very weird. And I don't know how else to explain it besides they're under hypnosis.
The small d Democrats, just people, regular voters, regular people.
Yeah. And whether that's derived from their hatred of Trump or whatever, I'm not really sure, but how they went from not liking Kamala like 3 weeks ago to now incredibly excited about her because they are being told she is the savior of democracy through a completely undemocratic process. I just can't make rational sense of.
Well, Kamala, she's having a brat summer, so you can't beat that energy, that brat energy. Are you having a brat summer?
No.
Why not?
I don't even know what brat means.
How do you not know what brat means? Dude, it's simple. Brat is simple. Charles doesn't know what brat means. He went to Jake Tapper to find out what brat means, like a fucking weirdo. Brat. Think of it this way, right? It's from Charlie XCX, pop superstar, whatever, right? Yep. She comes out with this album called Brat, and she says Kamala is brat, and it's like a messy sort of like, flying by the seat of your pants, going out partying, like not a care in the world, just having a good old time, just being big brat energy. Okay. Right? The litter box in the corner hasn't been changed in 2 weeks. You got a pile of laundry on a chair that needs to be folded, right? That's brat energy, and Kamala's brat.
That does not sound like qualities we want in a president. But okay.
Yeah, well, that's what the TikTok world does to America. And so it sounds like you fell out of a coconut tree, Michael.
I sure did.
So I don't know how this works. It's just a bunch of the memetics from Kamala's campaign is.
Yeah.
It seems like, is it working or not working? I don't know.
I think it's working.
There's a really good chance that she's going to win. Don't get me wrong.
I agree.